Hello everybody, what's in the video? I'm Chase with Carbonated Gaming, and we're going to be doing a tier list for lice. You know, this is going to be the best tier list ever for patch 1.0. They recently adjusted some things, right? And the reason why it's 1.0 instead of any other arrangement numbers is because we finally are in full release, right? Because we went from alpha, closed beta, open beta, right? And the devs have adjusted some of these characters, you know, made some worse, some better, you know, buffs and nerfs, you know, the works. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my phone off because we don't want any buzzing going on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's just going to be a tier list. Based off my opinions being top 500 of the game, right? So we're just going to just throw those things around. It could be different based off your placement. But yeah, we're gonna open up this tier list with Zippo lighter fluid. Not a bad pick, not a good pick. Kind of just like it's situational, right? Oh, actually, I should probably go over the tiering rungs real quick. Just pretend you didn't see that, right? S means it's like pick and ban every game. Probably needs a nerf, you know. A is like usually you're playing stuff in A tier. It's really good because everything in S is like banned. B, bit more situational, but definitely not bad. C, 100% situational. D, don't really know why you're picking them. And we're not usually going to be using E or F because these would be like obviously worse than D, and F would be virtually unplayable, but nothing in the game's unplayable right now. So that's good. Good on the devs for being able to do that. So now back to Zippo lighter fluid, it's C. Counters probably one of a decent support in the game right now, you know, being Woodstock. Woodstock is B. He's able to stun people really well, keep them from doing stuff, which is really good. You know, a very solid support. You know, not only heals, but you know, also just has overall just utility, which, you know, that's a support. We got Minecraft Steve. He's all right. He doesn't really do a whole lot. You know, he has very strong direct melee damage. You know, but he doesn't really do anything else, right? You know, he has pretty alright poke, but the best poke has to be Minecraft Alex, right? Significantly better than Minecraft Steve because she's able to outpoke virtually everything in the game, but she isn't broken by any stretch, you know? She just has like really, really solid poke, you know? Can't eat up as many hits as Steve can, but definitely can put in more damage than Steve can. Alright, now we got salt and vinegar fries from Buffalo Wild Wings. When it first released, or when they first released, they were broken, absolutely destructive. Like it was rough. It was a very rough time. But right now it's a B tier, right? They didn't work around it some, and it's in a better spot than what it once was. But I think it might need a bit of a buff, you know, like slightly more damage, but nothing too insane. But I don't know. Now we got Markiplier. Markiplier is solid B. You know, he's sitting pretty. Doesn't really do a whole lot. He just is kind of there, you know, kind of like a meat shield almost. He can take up some hits, but his damage output just doesn't equate properly. We got Adam West. Yeah, I think he's good in A. You know, he is again solid damage output. He's kind of outclassed by everything else usually in the A tier, but he's significantly better than everything in the B tier, if that makes sense. Well, probably not significantly, but you get the idea. Now we got Nico Bolas. Nico Bolas is a solid A tier. A lot of damage, and has a lot of health, too. You know, he's basically just this behemoth juggernaut, right? But he's easily countered by CC and everything. Easily countered by, surprisingly, a C tier, which we'll get to that when we get there, or what I deem as a C tier. But yeah, actually, no, we'll go over him right now. Let me get the thing. We got Cyan from Among Us, right? He's a C tier. Only really thing he's good at is making sure Nico Bolas can't do anything, as with his ultimate, because Cyan just like one tap anything in the game with his ultimate, right? So he just like one hits Nico Bolas. But the issue with Cyan, why he wouldn't be up in A tier or S tier, being able to counter this juggernaut of Nico Bolas, he has nothing else. He basically only can one tap. And at first that doesn't sound too bad, but he doesn't have any utility. He doesn't do enough damage at his base kit. It's just strictly based off that one ultimate. And he's usable, but it just isn't enough. We got Kite Man. I would probably place Kite Man in D tier. Not bad. Obviously, like, none of the characters right now are necessarily bad, and he's not the worst out of the D tier. By any stretch, he's not the worst character in the game by any stretch. But he just doesn't, like, he can control high ground really well. He can control the skies, but other than that, which, like, other than that, he can't really do anything. Like, when he's up high, right, his damage output drops just because of damage fall off, right? Like, if he could keep most of his damage up in the sky, then he'd be perfectly fine. But he just can't do it, We got Shalat. Shalat's A tier. A lot of damage, a lot of really good burst, but he's only burst, right? And if you're able to somehow counter the burst, then you basically just beat Schlatt. But as you can see, like, him being an A tier, like, a lot of characters can't really stop all that burst all the time. We got Bill Gates. Bill Gates sitting in B tier. Probably the better, like, stunning characters. Like, he's able to constantly have, like, he has like 3-second cooldown on his stun. But other than that, not a whole lot. He does have the highest out of every character in the game right now. He has the highest, like, money rate. I don't really know if it's ever been, like, defined, his production of money. For some reason, he just has, like, a higher rate of production, so he's able to buy more items. But other than that, like, really good stun, really good money. He's really solid, but, like, he doesn't, like, it's mostly just his damage. It just isn't all that. And he's definitely usable. Like, he does counter Bolas really well. But other than Bolas and, like, maybe 2 other characters, doesn't really stop a whole lot. But he's far above Zippo Lighter Fluid. And he's not as good as Woodstock, I would say, as far as, like, tiering rungs. Like, he beats Woodstock in 1v1 because Woodstock's a support, right? But, Ted Nivison, really good at breaking the back line. But if his damage output was, like, maybe 10 more, then he'd be A tier. Got Travis. Travis, A tier. He can eat up a lot of hits. He isn't broken, and he's in a really good spot, I think, to avoid being banned stuff. He's in, like, virtually every game I've played with or against. Yeah, that's really, he's just a really good tank. He probably has, I think he has the he's the second highest health in the game after Nico Bolas, right? But Travis can also, like, have automatic CC immunity, just, like, on, like, a 10-second cooldown, which is really good, obviously. Then we have Gaimon from One Piece, right? Probably one of the weaker tanks in the game. But yeah, he's mostly just situational. He's good into Salt and Vinegar Fries. He's good into some of the S classes, but that's only map dependent. But we'll get to that later. We got a default skin. Fortnite default skin. He used to be the best character in the game, just one tapping with a sniper. But due to how they adjusted the scope and how they adjusted his damage, they even gave him fall off even though he's a sniper. Don't know why they did that, but yeah, as going from S tier, top echelon, up here, best character in the game, just being able to one tap people with just his basic attacks, to just being one of the worst. He's still usable, right? But I think if in the current patch, if Kite Man and Fortnite had, like, a baby, then it'd be insane. But right now, it just isn't enough. Next we got Burger King, which Burger King's probably the worst character in the game right now. He's never made a huge stride. I don't think I've never seen him in tournament play. He's never banned. He's never picked, really. Burger King's the worst character right now, which is kind of upsetting because he has a really fun kit, but he just doesn't bring in all the numbers. Next we got Ash from Paladins. Very strong tank. A lot of good CC. Then we got Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, the point of Joe Rogan is basically to control one lane or one side of the map and just dominate that place, right, for the team. But he doesn't do it as well as, say, Travis has an off tank, or even Ash has off tank. Bolas, he doesn't have enough health to do that on his own, so he constantly needs backup. But even then, the tanks would need backup as well. And he has extremely powerful ultimate, but he doesn't have enough ways to, like, say for instance he hits ult, right, then someone just runs away. He can't confirm it. He's strictly melee only, so it's very hard to confirm his kills. Next we got Call Me Carson. Call Me Carson's a pretty solid A tier. One of the best supports in the game. Yeah, probably the best support in the game. Not because his healing output is crazy. Like, it's good, but it's not as good as Woodstock's in terms of pure numbers. But his ability to drop people's attack stats, right, to like make people do less damage on a 5-second cooldown is ludicrous. Like, his crying ability is just off the chain. Not even ultimate. His ultimate is just like, hey, yo, everyone get some health, which is nice, but like, really, that's not why you pick Carson. Next we got Technoblade. Technoblade's probably the probably S tier, one of the better melee stricken characters, right? And he has a decent kill confirm with like bows and arrows, or his bows and arrows ability. Yeah, he's picked and banned on most maps. I think the only map where he's not banned is probably the supermarket, because like there's so many like winding situations you can just like hug around corners, and his like he can't hit you with a sword, right, due to like awkward hitboxes. But yeah, but other than that, he's S tier all the way. We got Bill Nye. Probably gonna put him in C tier. Like, he used to do a lot of damage. He was able to like make a lot of stuff with his engineering ability, and he also had his chemical ability, but he also had his chemical ability nerfed. So he can't really. He used to be able to like put down his little turret, and then if someone tried to break the turret, right, from closer ranges, he could just splash chemicals down, and basically just do some corrosion damage onto people. But now that does significantly less damage than he used to, and it just isn't really worth running him anymore. Like, maybe Supermarket is okay, but other than that, I don't really see running Bill Nye. We got Captain Sparkles. Gonna put him A tier. Very, very powerful right now. His ult is really, really strong. His flex to Ash ability with his ult is just ludicrous. He flexes, right, does damage. If he pushes characters back into the wall, get that instant stun, right? For, I think was it a second and a half? I think it's a second and a half. They did nerf it down to a second and a half from 2 seconds. And it does make a big difference, but he's still able to like charge up and just like beat people down. He goes from being able to shoot at people from afar to just drop down, flex, and then just do a bunch of damage. Like, it's crazy how much damage this guy can do in just such a short amount of time. Next we got Ash from Overwatch. Probably going to put her in B tier. She has really good poke, but it's not as good as Alex, and that's really about all she has. Like, her dynamite's really good, but after the nerfs to that, it's just like there was no real reason to run her over any other of the longer range characters, obviously aside from Fortnite skin and Kite Man. Next we got PewDiePie. PewDiePie's S tier. Nothing, like, PewDiePie isn't the best character in the game, but nothing directly counters him right now, right? And he's in a very awkward spot where he's banned on like every map essentially, and he does like a ton of damage constantly, and he's able to always like run away. So even if he does get like the lower hand of a fight, he's guaranteed an escape, right? And nothing can stop him through his escape currently. So there was a tweet from the devs saying they're going to introduce a character. I don't remember what the character's name is. It starts with a T, I think, and it's going to like hard counter PewDiePie. But right now, PewDiePie is really, really strong, and he does need a nerf to his escape ability. Everything else is fine. If they just nerf his escape, then he'd be pretty. I think he'd be very solid A tier. I think he might be the best in A tier if they just nerfed his escape. Anyway, now we got Kanye West. Kanye West is B tier. Very strong in terms of long range damage. Not a whole lot of poke, just because like the sound projectiles just don't. You would think sound would travel really fast, but it doesn't travel fast enough, you know. But any close range battle, he kind of just loses, right? You know, anything in S tier just kind of destroys them. Most everything in A tier wins a 1v1 that isn't a support. You know, it's like, eh. If you picked him, no one would get mad at you about it. But can't really think of anything else that would really put Kanye West into A tier. Probably just like maybe increase to his projectile speed. Yeah, he'd probably be really strong. Now we got Illumina. Illumina's pretty solid A tier. He's basically just like a weaker Technoblade, or yeah, probably just like a weaker Technoblade right now. So I guess you can run him if you really want the same thing as Technoblade, but he's just banned. You know, but Illumina can have the upper hand in a supermarket, just due to him being able to climb and like place shit. But other than that, he just really isn't all that. Now we got Dream. Dream is like a very, very powerful character right now. S tier. And he has really good, he's mostly map dependent, but he's strong on Supermarket as compared to Technoblade. And he is pretty weak on mostly ice-like maps. But other than that, like, Dream's just like really strong. He has a lot of damage. Don't know what to say. Like, a lot of these characters that are really good have a lot of damage. Neil deGrasse Tyson, definitely an S tier. Just everything about him is just really, really good. He can be immune to damage whenever he's putting up his black hole interference. You know, and that is definitely the best part of his kit. Like, his ult's alright, you know, dropping asteroids down and everything. But, like, just his constant damage immunity on, like, I think it was a 8-second cooldown is surprisingly strong. Like, you would think it'd be like, oh, just shoot at him later. But, like, he's able to just, like, eat up that damage. Just eat it up. Now we got Call Me Cornson. Probably a B tier. You know, he can eat up hits. He can regenerate his own health. But he's not, like, other than that, he's not that strong of a tank. Like, if for some reason you can't run any other tank, or you want to do, like, a majorly tank centralized comp, then, hey, man, he's useful. Like, he can do stuff. Like, if he had a way to potentially heal allies as well, then maybe he could be a strong supportish tank. But he just really can't do a whole lot. Next, we got Billy Mays. He did get nerfed a bit, but no nerfs can keep Billy Mays down. He's a very strong A tier. I've seen him banned a few times, and if you banned Billy Mays or first picked Billy Mays, no one get mad at you. Like, he's very strong. Not so great on the ice maps, kind of like with the whole Dream situation. But his strongest map is definitely Supermarket. Next we have like probably the strongest character in the game. We got Victini. His ability to, which not his ultimate, being able to just like do a bunch of fire damage, right? But his totem ability, being able to drop down his little victory staff totem thing, just stab him to the ground, and then like increase everyone's accuracy, just instantaneously, is just ludicrous, you know. So no more bullet spread, you know, no more in-air inaccuracy as long as you're in that little circle that it produces. And you know, he's a very powerful support right now. And it's funny because he's supposed to be primarily a damage, but he has very strong support utility, which I guess that's why he's just so powerful. And this is where things get like kind of weird whenever it comes to your pick and banning system, right? Because like you only have 4 bans out right now as a whole, so one of these 5 S tiers get out each time. And if you have one of the S tiers, you kind of just win usually, unless it's like you pick Techno on like Supermarket or something. But like, yeah, it's very like, yeah, you just get fucking rocked. But for now, like, the game's relatively balanced. Like, I think they need to work the D tier a bit, give them some love. Probably nerf some of the S tier guys a bit. I mean, like you normally would in any other game. But I don't really know how you would nerf PewDiePie right now, other than his escape. You know, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe you can leave some suggestions in the comments. You know, who knows? Maybe the devs would read up on it. But yeah, that's my tier list. Can't really think of anything else because I don't have an outro. So yeah, we'll end on a whelp.